guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be doing a drugstore challenge. So I'm actually heading to Rite Aid right now. I'm gonna get everything I need to do, a whole face of makeup from eyebrows to foundation to lipstick, everything except for makeup brushes is gonna be from the drugstore or from Target. I'm really excited to try it out. We'll see if I can make drugstore makeup work. I know I don't always use it. So we're headed to Rite Aid right now and we'll see what I can find. I have everything laid out here and I have a ton of new products actually, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, now I'm gonna do moisturizer too just because I really wanted to try this one. Somebody said this to me on Snapchat. This is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Gel Cream Moisturizer. It says it's for extra dry skin, which I don't have extra dry skin, but I thought I would try it out. And it smells a lot like the MAC Charged Water one too, which is kind of funny. It's really lightweight, which I like, especially for underneath makeup. If you guys are wondering why I'm so tan right now, it's because I just applied some self-tanner this morning, the Loving Tan brand, and I plan on doing a video on it. I just need to like experiment with it a little more and get better at it before I actually film. And for concealer, this is the Maybelline Master Conceal in the shade Light Medium. And I'm gonna do that just around the eye area and any other redness that I have on my face. Right now I just have like excessive tanness on my face, not a lot of redness. Oh, I totally forgot to apply my primer. Okay, normally I don't wear primer that often, but I wanted to try one out. So this is the baby skin one from Maybelline. I've heard some good stuff about this one. This is the Instant Pore Eraser, so I decided to try this one out. I know I already have concealer under one eye, but it's okay, I'll just do the rest of my face. So it says application tips, smooth onto areas with visible pores. So I'm not gonna put it all over my face. I'm just gonna put it on my nose and in my T-zone area. All right, now I'm gonna finish putting on the concealer around my eyes. So I'm just gonna add it around my under eye area and then I'm gonna buff it out. So I have so many different foundations here because I don't like swatching foundations while I'm in the drugstore. I like to buy it and then bring it home. So I went with these three shades or these three brands. So I have the Covergirl True Blend in the shade M4. I got the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade, or the matte one in the shade 220, which is natural beige. A lot of people had said good stuff about this. And then I also got the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte 24-hour foundation. I kind of just want to try this one out. I don't know why. And this is in the shade 106. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and apply the foundation, which is like the scariest part for me for some reason. I don't really know why. So I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour Pro Matte in the shade 106, which is Sun Beige. I'm gonna apply my foundation with the Morphe G2 brush. So the color actually looks really good. This would definitely not be my shade if I didn't self-tan. I would be quite a few shades lighter. And I'm hoping it's like the perfect shade right now. I kind of hope it doesn't oxidize because if it does, then it'll be too dark. Okay, so this foundation is really, really good. Actually, it's pretty similar to Studio Fix. It dries a little bit more matte, like it never even looks like a liquid at all. If you have dry skin, it's probably not gonna be that good for you because it's like really, really matte. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put on eyebrows now because I really need them desperately. So I got this one from e.l.f. This is the eyebrow kit in the shade Medium. This is, it looks like a pomade or a gel or something, and then this side is a powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the gel and see. I don't think it's a wax, I think it's a gel. I'm not entirely sure because I already threw away the package. So I can just tell as I'm using this, when I use the Anastasia one, I use just a tiny, tiny little bit in my brush and it does practically my entire eyebrow. This one I've had to go in like 5 or 6 times and it's still applying kind of patchy. Oh, and just so you guys know, I'm gonna try and not use that many NYX products. I'm gonna listen to a lot of your guys' suggestions and do a NYX dedicated video. So I'm gonna do a whole face just using NYX products probably next week. All right, so I just finished up my brows and I'm not really excited about them. It's a lot warmer than what I'm used to putting in my brow. I tend to go a little bit more ashy. What I am loving though is this foundation. This foundation is like insanely full coverage. Okay, so now what I wanna do is just do some highlighting around my eyes and other areas. And to do that, I'm gonna use this. This is the L'Oreal Magic Lumi Highlighter, Illuminator. I got the shade Light. Okay, so the pen does a pretty good job highlighting. The only thing is I think that was pretty expensive. I think it was like $12 or $13 or something. So I am gonna be using my NYX Highlight Contour palette, but I'm not gonna use it to set under my eye area. I had a lot of trouble finding a powder that I really wanted to use, but I decided to go with this one. Call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure this is a foundation. What is it? This is a Wet n Wild Cover All Pressed Powder, and the shade is Light. Hopefully it doesn't make me look too crazy. And I'm using my little e.l.f. brush to do it. So far I can tell this stuff is pretty pigmented, so I'm gonna use it very sparingly. Okay, so that actually looks pretty nice. I'm happy with it. It's got nice coverage, but it's not like too intensely bright. So for bronzer, I actually had a really hard time finding a bronzer. They all have a lot, well actually all or most drugstore makeup, everything is shimmery. There's like not very many products that are matte. So I got this one. This is the NYX Color Wheel Mosaic Face Powder, and this is in the shade All Over Bronze Glow. I got the Maybelline Fit Me Bronzer, and this is in the shade Medium Bronze. And then I also got this one. This is from e.l.f. This doesn't really look like much of a bronzer to me. This looks more of like a highlighting kind of shimmer brick. And then I got the Milani Baked Bronzer number 5, which definitely has a shimmer to it. So I think just to bronze, I'm gonna use this one. Oh, I didn't set my face. So I'm gonna set my face before I put on the bronzer. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte+Poreless Face Powder. This is in the shade 220 Natural Beige. So I'm just gonna use this really lightly to set my whole face. I always set my face. I hate having just liquid, but it looked like I already set my face because this foundation is so matte. So I'm just using a really big fluffy powder brush, and I'm just gonna lightly put it on. So I'm going back in with that NYX Color Wheel and the Bare Minerals brush. I know you guys are probably really weirded out by my super tan hands right now. I couldn't really decide what kind of makeup like look I wanted to do. I forgot that I actually need like something to do, like a goal on my eyes. I'm gonna end up going with like work appropriate makeup. I know you guys have been asking for that a lot lately, so I'm gonna do something a little bit more neutral on like the work or interview side. I know somebody's gonna say something about me not putting my hair up, but I actually styled my hair today, so I don't wanna put it up. Whatever. I'm gonna do a little bit of contour, and I'm gonna use the NYX Contour Kit. I know I said I'm trying not to use NYX products, but I didn't get a contour shade, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use a shade from the kit and show you guys how amazing it is. I'm gonna go ahead and use this shade right here. The only thing with this palette, it does put a lot of product on the brush, so you have to be really careful not to apply too much, and then I buff it a lot into the skin just to blend it out. But I feel like it adds a really nice, soft, subtle contour to the skin. My eyeglasses, I think, are leaving like permanent indentations in my nose right here. It's like permanently dark. It like won't go away. It's driving me crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold off on blush until I finish my eye makeup just to see which color I wanna use. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this e.l.f. This is a concealer. I'm just gonna use this as an eyeshadow base and then set it with powder. This one from Wet n Wild, just because that's what I want to do. So I'm just gonna add a little bit all over the lid, and then I'm just gonna buff it out with my finger. So I'm gonna add this powder, the same one that I used to set underneath my eyes, just right on top of the concealer, just that way, hopefully I don't have any creasing. And it also just makes it nice and smooth and silky. So I did get another eyeshadow palette from Maybelline. It was called the Nudes palette, and I swatched it this morning, and it was not good at all. It was very chalky. But I swatched this one from Wet n Wild, and it was really, really nice and creamy and intensely colored. So this palette is the Naked Truth. I'm about to do my eyeshadow with no matte colors. There's only one matte shadow in all of the eyeshadows that I have, and that's this one right here, this little really dark brown one. I don't really have a transition shade, so this will be interesting. So I'm just gonna take a MAC 217 brush, and I'm going to dip it into this one, which says Crease, conveniently enough. So I'm gonna stick this directly into my crease. I think I'm just gonna do a really soft dark brown on the outer edge, outer V area, and then just bring it lighter to the inner corner of the eye. I'm just adding some of that really dark brown on the outer edges. I don't want to add too much because I'm trying to be like office appropriate. I'm so desperate for a matte eyeshadow right now. So I'm actually gonna use this bronzer, the Maybelline Fit Me, just to kind of blend this out into my upper brow area. Oh, what about this one? Getting crafty here. So I'm gonna go in this thing actually and use these two right here. I'm just gonna kind of buff those together, and I'm just gonna lightly buff out that brown that I added. So now what I'm gonna do, just to smoke it out a little bit more, just a tiny bit on the outer edges, I'm gonna go in with the matte brown, which is this shade, the definer shade, and I'm just gonna stick it directly into the crease and kind of buff it really lightly, just going towards the center of the eye. I do have this shade. This is called Base, the base color. This looks really similar to Foxy from Urban Decay. So I think I'm just gonna add a little bit of this directly onto the lid, and then we'll do maybe a little bit of highlight on the inner corner of the eye. And we're just gonna pack it directly onto the lid and kind of blend it into this dark brown. And now I'm just going back in with a really fluffy brush, and this shade from the bronzer is actually working really well as a transition shade. It's the bullseye in the center, the kind of warm bronzy color, and just buffing it out one more time in the upper crease, just that way it blends really nicely. Okay, and for mascara today, I'm not actually trying a new one because I really wanted to get this one again. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara, and this is what I've used all throughout college, after college, for a really, really long time. Actually, even when I started my channel, I was still using this one. Not very voluminous, but it just makes your lashes look really long and separated. It's such a tiny little wand. It gets into all the little areas and all the way to the base of your lashes. Okay, so now for the lower lash line, you could leave it blank like it is now, but I just wanna add a little bit of definition on just the outer edges, just a little tiny bit. And I'm going to take the Define shade, so the dark matte brown color, and I'm just gonna add a little bit right on the outer corners of the eyes. I'm gonna go back in with the bullseye shade in here for the lower lash line. I keep forgetting I have this. This is like saving me right now. And I'm just gonna buff that right underneath, or on top of it actually. So I did get the Rimmel in the Nude Exaggerate eye definer. So this is like a nude pencil for your waterline. And oh, this does work really well actually. I don't know if this is the one everybody was talking about, but this Rimmel one is really, really good. Pretty much as good as the NARS one actually. I like to add a little bit of dark eyeshadow just right underneath it, a little bit darker than what we have right now, just so it helps to define the waterline a little bit more. Okay, I really like this color. This is in the other palette, the Comfort Zone palette. So I'm gonna use this shade. This is the Brow Bone shade, and add it just directly on the inner corner of the eye. So if you're off to work or whatever it might be early in the morning, this along with the nude in the waterline will make you look a little bit more refreshed, I guess, and awake. I have like this thing coming in on my chin. But okay, so we're done with the eyes, and this is a look that you could totally wear without any false eyelashes. I don't know if I already said that, but you don't need false eyelashes, especially if you're going to work. I was always a crazy person, and I wore false lashes to work all the time. Everybody thought I was crazy, but made me feel more fabulous, so I did it anyway. So I tried really, really hard to find the Ardell Wispies. Those are like my go-to lashes right now, but they were out of stock everywhere that I went. And then I have this one, which is 113, which is like, kind of looks like my 102s. They're really, really long. All right, so I'm going with the 113s from Ardell. They're kind of like Wispies, they're just more, or not as wispy, I guess. So what's next? We're gonna go ahead and do some blush. I went totally overboard when it came to blushes. I'm like a blush freak. So it looks like, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the expected. This is Luminoso. So many of you guys told me on Instagram that I needed this blush. So I listened to you and I got it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some on. We already have kind of a glow on the cheeks, but if we wanna do like a bright highlight, you guys know I always use the Milani Luminoso from the Balm. So I'm actually gonna use this. This is the bronzer, or the golden bronzer. I like to call it a shimmer brick, the one from e.l.f. Do just a little bit of highlight right here. Ooh, that's really bright. I shouldn't have used that one. What I'm gonna do is lips, and I did get 3 different options. I'm not sure I'm gonna use all of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the nude one, and if we really like it, I guess we can just stop right there. This is from Loreal. This is one of their Balm lipsticks. And this is in the color 819 Caramel Comfort. So I just wanted to get a really nice kind of bronzy nude shade. Definitely don't wanna use a dead girl nude for work. That's more of like an edgy kind of nude shade. I did get a lip gloss. This is already kind of glossy, but I'll just add this because I got it. This is Covergirl, and this is in the shade Melted Toffee. This is one of their Colorlicious lip glosses, and it smells really, really good. It smells like one of the old school hard candy lip glosses when hard candy used to be in Ulta. Okay, so we're all wrapped up with the drugstore makeup look. I'm pleasantly surprised with how it turned out actually, and I have a lot of favorites in here, so I'm gonna share with you guys just before I end it, the products that I really, really loved and that I'll for sure be using again. First thing that I loved was the NYX Color Wheels. This is a really good bronzer. It has a lot of different shades in here. They blend really nicely into the skin. And also I used some of these as eyeshadows for transition colors, and I know this was very inexpensive, so I would definitely recommend this one. The next favorite thing is actually my foundation, which I'm very, very surprised about. I seriously thought I was not gonna like any of the foundations, but I was very impressed with how this blended in. It has really full coverage. It's very similar to Studio Fix Fluid from MAC without the smell. It's actually even more of a matte finish than that. You guys probably already knew this was gonna be one of a favorite of mine. This is the Luminoso blush. So pretty on the skin. When I swatched it on my hand, I thought it was gonna be too light or add not enough color, but it is amazing. I can't believe it. I just, again, similar to the other one that I used, I wanted to keep putting it on over and over and over again, but I had to stop eventually. This concealer, this is the Master Conceal from Maybelline in the shade Light Medium, the one I used around my eyes. This one didn't crease at all. It's not creasing right now, and I feel like it covered really nicely around my under eye area, and I'm very, very picky when it comes to using concealer around my under eyes. And this one, I was really, really impressed with how it blended really nicely. It kind of melted in with the concealer. Another favorite product that I have is the e.l.f. Golden Bronzer. It came in a box, so I didn't even see what the inside looked like. So this one, while I didn't use it for a bronzer, I feel like you could use it for so many other areas on your face and for many different skin tones. So I ended up using this shade, which is the champagne color, to highlight on the cheekbones, and you can tell it did like a really good job to highlight. I wanna hear what you guys think. What was your favorite product? What products do you see yourself using? Also, if you have any recommendations for me on other brands or other drugstore products or foundations, or especially actually eyeshadows, that is not the Wet n Wild brand, let me know. I wanna go get it and try it out and make more drugstore videos for you because it was actually a lot of fun. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. I needed it.
Cause you're basic.
They're out of stock of my lashes everywhere.
Cause they're basic.
Why is every color called beige? Beige, beige, beige. Beige.